Hey everybody, it's Tanya Saran here, and today I want to talk about something that plagues me often as well as some of my friends. This is something that is very common and can be incredibly debilitating depending on what degree you have it, but imposter syndrome. It affects, again, everyone to some degree. The idea of imposter syndrome is that your mind is plaguing you with thoughts of just not being enough, that what you're doing is luck, that you're not actually good at the things that you're producing, that you're a fake, that you're a phony, that you're an imposter, despite the fact that you might have evidence otherwise, and of your successes. So no matter how successful you are, I feel like imposter syndrome can really take a seat, plant itself in your mind, and kind of spread its evil wings to an extent. So for me, I'm oftentimes plagued with the mentality that what I'm doing on here, the sex education and toy reviews, is never going to amount to anything, that I'm one in a million people doing this, that I'm not even that good at it, I don't know what I'm talking about. You start getting these thoughts despite the fact that you have successes right in front of you and people telling you that that's not the case. This might keep you from going for a job that you really want. You might not want to submit your resume because you think, no, there's no way that I could do this job, despite fitting potentially the description of it perfectly. It's really hard to go soft on yourself. We all experience this in regards to how we feel about our bodies. And then this is in regards to how our minds are reacting to our successes. And imposter syndrome can be incredibly debilitating, and overall, I mean, it is something that it cannot be eliminated fully, but there are some ways and some things that I do personally that kind of help silence that voice in my head. So when I'm feeling like an imposter, or I'm feeling like what I'm doing isn't amounting to something, or that I've not reached successes in what I'm doing despite having done them, I like to make a list of what I have accomplished in that avenue. So for instance, we'll take like these YouTube videos. I would sit down and then I would write down, how many people have said that I've helped. I'd write down, how many views, how many sales, how many different things. Like, you write down your list of your accomplishments and look at them, because then no matter how bleak the outcome might be in your mind, you can look and you've got concrete evidence of you moving forward and you having success in these things. Another thing I like to do is just give myself a run through of the necessities. And what I mean by that is, if I am feeling less than, I like to sit and go, did I get a full night of sleep? Have I had water in the past hour? Have I moved out of this chair in the last hour? Have I maybe reached out to a friend to talk about my insecurities and talk to another human in the last hour? Have I, you can go through these list of things that have I eaten, that might impact your mood. And sometimes by the time you're going through the list, you feel a little bit better, even if you still feel that imposter syndrome. And it's all about feeling good enough that you can continue. You may not be able to defeat imposter syndrome, but you should not allow it to stop your progress. If you had a friend that was constantly around you going, you know what, this success is luck, like, you're not actually doing a good job, you would never keep that friend. I would hope you would never keep that friend and you would eliminate them from your circle. So why do we allow ourselves to do this to ourselves? I mean, if we wouldn't allow ourselves to be around a friend that did, or a so-called friend, why do we do it to ourselves so regularly? Quite frankly, we can't stop it. So again, these are just some ways to kind of do it. Really, I do feel like talking with others helps. When you have people in your corner and they're able to tell you that they look up to you, or that your successes are adequate, or that you're doing a good job and trying really hard, sometimes that's a little bit of a pat on the back to kind of be kind to yourself, and you're seeking that support from someone, and that's very important, because sometimes when you say these things out loud versus in your head, they may not make as much sense. When I say my doubts out loud, it makes me feel silly sometimes. But in my head, of course, it's a cesspool of doubts that will continuously, kind of envelop my feelings whenever imposter syndrome shows up. So it's very real. Again, it's very debilitating. But I just hope that you're able to make a list of your accomplishments, that you're able to be kind to yourself and seek whatever little small thing might help with that, that you are confident enough to reach out and speak to your friends or speak to your support system about the feelings that you have, and that it certainly does not stop you from reaching the next level or going after that job you want or emailing that person you want to email or whatever the case. Don't let it stop you. Confidence is key. No one will know about your imposter syndrome if you keep trekking forward. So thank you all so much. Again, I'm Tani Seren. Please follow. I've got toy reviews, sex education, some life advice, beauty reviews. I mean, a bunch of stuff in between. So if you like what I got to say, give me a subscribe, and I'll be here tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.